Here we are at the workbench. You'll have to excuse the shaking camera. I'm doing it freehand. It's just much easier doing this with anything else. So the first thing to notice is I've actually got the support rod in now, and that's all glued in and it's all welded in. I smoothed off and sanded it all off. I was going to have this black, but since I'm going to be doing the Maquis emblem red and then do this black here, it will stick out like a sore thumb. It will just be too dominant, so I'll be spraying this red, sort of matching with that, and that'll be very nice. The button is all in now, and that's all nicely fixed in. I've also done a lot of work on where the two styrene sheets met. There was a bit of a gap or a trench, and I filled that in with sprue glue, which I'll talk about in a bit. I've also done a significant amount of reinforcement, which I'll also talk about. And as you can see, I've now stripped off all of the old primer, all of the top red coat. I thought, let's get back to the beginning, get back to basics, and put new primer on, new paint, and just start all over again. So let's talk about sprue glue, because this is a very relevant conversation, especially with something on there. And as you can see, I've done it all the way around there, and believe me when I say this is absolutely smooth and flat now. But the test will be when I put the primer on, because one of the things that primer does, it's not just about giving a good adhesive for the middle layer and then the lacquer to go onto. Primer can actually really help you in showing you how good or how bad your work is, or if there's any imperfections in the plastic, or if there are any modifications like I've done here. And it's really good for showing up all that stuff that you just can't see with the naked eye. And if it's not how you want it, when you put the primer on, then just rework it, resand it, refile it, re-drill it, whatever you've got to do to get it the way you want, and then put another layer of primer on and keep doing that until you get the desired effect you want. And it is only primer after all, guys. It's not the top coat, it's certainly not the lacquer, so don't worry about it too much. I think I pay like £8 for a can of primer, and I pay something like £14 for a can of medium coat and top coat. So don't worry about it, guys. Do what you got to do to get the finished product. Anyway, sprue glue. Sprue glue is it's basically, this is an old pot of Tamiya extra thin, and all I've simply done is, as I've been making or I've finished a model and I have spares, I'll just put a couple of chop offs or off casts of spares in here, and the Tamiya extra thin melts it down, and it literally goes into the glue, hence saying sprue glue. And this is really, as you can see, it's really thick stuff, and it's really useful for filling in very small areas or for giving support or extra stuff, and when you want to use this, you just literally give it a good shake to wake it up, and then it's useful. This sprue glue, it does have its limitations. It's fine for doing small area work, and it's fine for doing touch-up jobs like that, and also on the other side as well. It's perfect for doing that. If you want to do large areas, like on the side here, where I want to round it off, then you've got to use milliput, and you just can't get away from that. But sprue glue is another tool in your arsenal of how I want it to look, shall we say. So on to the reinforcement part. As you can see, I put the battery holder in there now, and that's looking really good. And I've literally gone all the way around here and reinforced this with hot glue. If you're not familiar with hot glue, this is hot glue. This literally, the glue comes out of here molten, and it is absolutely perfect for doing large areas that will never be seen, or if they are seen, it doesn't make any difference. So on the underside of the base, it's absolutely perfect for that. And this is, I think it's a Loctite one. Yes, it is a Loctite one, and you can see the glue sticks. So it's perfect for doing reinforcement work like that. And as you can see, I wasn't really happy with the reinforcement work. I did glue it down with normal ABP glue, and then I super glued it, but it just wasn't strong enough. And when I dropped this on the floor, and this whole area around here shattered, and I had to basically rebuild it, that sort of said to me that the base needs extra support. So out come the glue gun, and as you can see, it's very, very supportive and very, very strong, and I'm very happy with how the way that looks. And obviously the battery holder has been hot glued in there as well, you know, and you can see all the way around this. And while we're here, we'll talk about the switch, because I wasn't happy with the switch wires. They were just too thin, too delicate, so I cut them off and I soldered these wires on, and they're much thicker, much better. And I was much happy with the way that looks. Talking of the switch, here it is. That has now been, as I already said, completely reworked, and I put a load of hot glue on it to protect it not only from the elements but also from any surfaces that it goes on to, and from the points from corroding or getting any dust or dirt, or from, you know, if you put it on a metal surface and the two contacts meet and the model just comes to life on its own. So that's important to do that. You should always, any electrical contact should always be protected from not only the elements themselves but also the surface that it stands on. So that's what that is, yeah. I was concerned that the hot glue would chew its way through the styrene plastic, but it didn't, so I was very happy with how that turned out. And we'll just go around this again so you can see literally all the support that I've done, and I'm very happy with the amount of support there. So that is now the base all ready for spraying. I'm going to put a nice base coat on this, which I shall film and show you guys, and then put a middle coat on, which I do believe is a very nice black, and then we're going to paint the Maquis logo and the actual support base red, and then we're going to put some nice pearl on this, and we're going to see what sort of effect we get from that. And then once we've done that, we're going to put top coat on it and let it dry for a couple of days, and then we'll be moving on to actually putting the model on top and soldering it. So without further ado, let's go over to the spray booth and do some spraying. Bye for now. And here she is. She's all ready to rock and roll and to take her prided place somewhere in my home and show everybody just how awesome a Maquis Raider is. And doesn't she look magnificent? She's all sprayed up now, she's all detailed up, the base is done, it's all polished, and the lights are all done, they're all wired in, so I'm really happy about that. So let's have a little wander around and see what we can see, eh? We'll start off with the base, and as you can see, I'm really happy with how the base turned out. You can see the shine and you can see the polish there. I'm very, very pleased with the lettering and the wording and how that came out. I'll just lift it up so you can actually see underneath the light just how wonderful it looks. I'm very pleased with how this looks and how the red turned out and how it is sparkling and shining. The pearl effect, get a bit closer, the pearl effect really does set it off really nice, so I'm really pleased about that. And the pole is safely secured underneath, you can see that there. And I'm really happy about how that looks as well. And there's all the detail underneath, it's all really detailed now, and everything just fits in really nicely. And then you can see the Aztecing as well. I was very pleased with how the Aztecing underneath looks. It took me ages to do all that, but I was just very pleased with the overall look and feel of the Aztecing. And if we go on top, you can see the Aztecing on top is just as good as on the bottom. Overall, I'm really, really pleased about this guy. I can't praise the Tamiya inks high enough. They really have set this off and make it look absolutely magnificent and make it look really special. And as you can see, it's really aged and it's really old because the Maquis really wouldn't have had time to clean them and polish them and maintain them as well as what they should have. Most of the time they were kept in caves or caverns, or maybe even underground, or just on the surface, you know, wherever they could really. And so I think you'll agree it's really set it all off, the detail and you know, the paint and the look of it. I'm really pleased and really happy with it. And the base as well, like I've already said, I'm really happy with the base. So we'll turn off the overhead light and we'll put the lights on so you can see the effect. And there we go, there she is with all her lights on. And there's the top running light flashing away there. Very pleased about that. And there's the side lights. And of course the cockpit. And then we have the front sensors and the front launch and the front probe launchers. So I was really happy about that. Now if you look at it straight on, yeah, you can just see how magnificent that is, and you can just see the two forward photon torpedoes there shining the way, which I was equally really happy about. And there's the warp engines there, all ready to go. I'll just turn this around. And there's the impulse engines, and there's the rear photon torpedoes, and there's the top starboard and port lights, and they're the same underneath as well. You can see them underneath, so they look just as good. If we turn it all the way around, you can see literally just I'm just so happy with how the impulse engines have turned out and how the warp engines have turned out, and the red effect is really good, and there's absolutely no light leak as well. The light blocking was just magnificent. I was just so happy with it. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this model overall. It's turned out exactly how I wanted it to. And you see the running lights there and the running lights here. Absolutely perfect, really. I'm just so happy with this, guys. You know, I really am. So we'll just put him back there, just so you can see him again. And if I just back off a little bit, just so you can get the full effect of how she looks. I'm sure you'll agree with the base shining the way there, and the red lights and the blue lights and the blinking lights. She looks quite magnificent. And the Tamiya inks and the acrylic dry brushing techniques and I've really helped to enhance her and bring her to life just as I wanted her to. So I'm really, really pleased about that. I really am. So just a couple of thank yous. I'll just pan, while I'm doing my thank yous, I'll just pan you around, guys, so you can have a look at this. We'll start with the base. So just first of all, thank you to Revel for producing this model, which I'm really pleased with, and it's a really nice model. and without them we wouldn't have been able to have done this project. So thank you to Revel for producing this. Thank you also to Tamia for all the inks, and also for the acrylic paints. Thank you to Mr. Colour for the main paints, and of course the pearl and the base coat and the middle coat and the lacquer, because I was really happy. I'm really happy and pleased with how those are. And obviously thank you to all the organisations that I have bought from eBay and Amazon, and mainly a big thank you to you guys, because without you, you know, commenting and liking and subscribing, I wouldn't have had the support from you to keep doing this. So I appreciate that. So a big thank you to you guys. And obviously there will be another project, but I'll be taking a break and a rest for a couple of weeks. I have decided on my next project, and that, well, you'll have to wait and see what that is, guys. So until then, you all take care and have an awesome weekend.